Today, we're conducting a deep dive into Microsoft's strategy amid its significant capital deployment in the AI sector. The core of our analysis will focus on the rationale behind what the company terms its AI factory and the financial implications of this large-scale strategic initiative.
Microsoft frames its objective as the construction of a planetary-scale AI factory. This is a crucial concept because it reframes the immense capital expenditure not as a simple operating cost, but as the foundational infrastructure for what they see as the next era of computing.
So let's begin with our core thesis. While market discourse has centered on the sheer scale of this capital expenditure, our analysis points to an acceleration in Microsoft's core growth engines. The path to monetizing these AI investments is becoming increasingly clear, which suggests a potential disconnect between current market perception and the underlying business fundamentals.
So how is this strategy engineered to function? The mechanism at its heart is what we can call the AI flywheel, a self-reinforcing cycle designed to generate compounding advantages and create a significant competitive moat.
Here is a breakdown of the flywheel's mechanics. It begins with massive infrastructure investment. This state-of-the-art infrastructure then attracts major enterprise workloads to their cloud platform. Following that, Microsoft leverages the same infrastructure to develop its own first-party applications, like Copilot, at a marginal cost. And the final critical stage is that the data and usage patterns from these applications feed back into the system, which allows for continuous, data-driven optimization of everything from the AI models to the underlying hardware itself.
And the results of this optimization are tangible. Through tight co-engineering of its hardware and software, Microsoft has demonstrated the ability to increase token throughput on a single GPU by over 30%. This efficiency gain is significant. As the flywheel turns, the entire system becomes more powerful and more cost-effective.
Now, establishing this level of market leadership requires an extraordinary capital commitment. The scale of this investment has effectively initiated what many observers are now calling an AI arms race among the major technology players.
To put this into perspective, Microsoft's capital expenditures for a single recent quarter approached $35 billion. This figure underscores the sheer magnitude of the company's commitment and strategic ambition.
And when we look at this in a competitive context, the numbers are revealing. As this data shows, Microsoft's spending is currently leading the pack. Their projected annualized expenditure rate of over $140 billion significantly outpaces that of Google, Amazon, and Oracle, reinforcing the arms race narrative.
However, this strategy extends beyond simply outspending competitors. It's fundamentally about establishing greater control over their technology stack. Microsoft is pursuing what can be termed strategic independence through in-house development.
This chart illustrates that shift quite clearly. Instead of relying exclusively on external partners like OpenAI for models or NVIDIA for GPUs, Microsoft is developing proprietary alternatives. This includes their own large-scale AI models, custom AI accelerators like the Azure Maia, and even their own server CPUs like the Azure Cobalt. The end goal is vertical integration, controlling the full stack to optimize performance and cost. And we are seeing early indicators of this strategy's traction. For instance, their open-source Phi series of smaller language models has accumulated over 60 million downloads. This is a key part of their effort to manage the inference costs associated with AI deployment at scale. Okay, let's return to the financial data to resolve the disconnect we introduced earlier. Understanding the situation requires a financial analysis that on the surface may appear counterintuitive. Here we have a DuPont analysis, which deconstructs return on equity into its core components. What's immediately apparent is the projected decline in ROE, from over 35% in fiscal year 2023 to a forecast of roughly 29% for 2025. This downward trend warrants a closer look. This leads to a critical analytical question. If we observe that the net profit margin is not only stable, but is actually projected to increase slightly, then what is the primary driver behind the decline in return on equity? And here is the key insight. The ROE decline is not a function of eroding profitability. Instead, it's a direct consequence of the rapid, strategic expansion of the company's total asset base. The denominator in the asset turnover calculation is growing faster than revenue, which is a calculated outcome of this intensive investment cycle. This allows us to reframe the entire financial picture. The current pressure on efficiency metrics and cash flow can be viewed as a growth tax. It is the necessary investment required today to secure what the company intends to be a dominant position in the computing paradigm of the next decade.
And this brings us to a final, crucial question for consideration. In an era defined by this level of unprecedented AI investment, is a singular focus on traditional efficiency metrics potentially obscuring the creation of long-term structural competitive advantages and value? That is a central question for investors and analysts alike.